Afcon 2025-26. Where do we start? Possibly the craziest tournament of all time. From bizarre team dramas and fan moments to goalkeeping chaos, protests, and a final that completely lost it. We're unpacking it all. Strap in. First up, the tournament itself was supposed to be all about football, but it quickly turned into headlines for reasons no one expected. Off the pitch, on the pitch, and sometimes under the pitch of normal behavior, Afcon 2025 delivered drama like you've never seen. Picture this. Cameroon, a five-time Afcon champion, enters the tournament with two different squad lists and different coaches. Behind the scenes, Cameroonian FA president Samuel Eto'o and coach Mark Bryce were locked in a feud so public that both men announced their own team list for Afcon. This wasn't tactical drama, it was institutional chaos. Eventually, coach Mark Bryce was fired by the Cameroon Football Federation due to alleged insubordination and professional failure, despite having qualified the team. Bryce initially disputed his dismissal, saying that he was hired by the Ministry of Sports, not the Federation, but the fallout set the tone for a turbulent tournament before it had even began. Meanwhile, fans were stealing the spotlight too. In matches involving DR Congo, one supporter captured the hearts of viewers around the world. Michael Kuka Umboladinga, nicknamed Lumumba Vieille, stood motionless for an entire match, mimicking the iconic statue of Patrice Lumumba, the Congolese independence leader, dressed to honor him and with his arm raised the whole time. His tribute went viral and became one of the most memorable visuals of Afcon 2025. What was so good about Lumumba, you ask? He was the first Prime Minister of Democratic Republic of Congo and a key figure in fighting Belgian colonial rule. Now, this one blew up online because it looked like something straight out of an activist playbook. Algerian fans protested using banknotes. After Algeria's quarterfinal match against Nigeria, supporters waved banknotes at the crowd as a symbolic protest, part of a wider social tension surrounding the tournament. It was a deliberate act by Algerian fans and supporters to accuse match officials and tournament organizers of corruption and bias after Nigeria won 2-0. It triggered emotions off the pitch as much as anything on it. Okay, this one will go down in football history. In Uganda's group stage game against Nigeria, the team ended up using 3 different goalkeepers in just 11 minutes. Dennis Onyango had to go off with injury at half-time. His replacement, Salim Magula, lasted a whooping 11 minutes before being red-carded for a handball outside of the box. At least, he can say he managed to keep a clean sheet though. Third choice, Nafien Alionzi, conceded twice. It was one of those weird moments that made fans ask, did this really just happen? And we haven't even got to the final yet, but let's be clear, even the lead-up was peppered with scratching heads and angry fans. CAF officials were investigating bad behavior from players, coaches, and even media members during the tournament. Before the semi-final clash between Nigeria and Morocco, there were stories circulating about Nigeria players falling ill before kickoff. Social media exploded with theories ranging from food poisoning to hyperbolic conspiracies, with fans on both sides blaming the other. Now, let's fast forward to the final, Senegal versus Morocco. The build-up was off-kilter from the jump. Hakimi and the hosts taking on Mane Senegal. Senegal arrived in Rabat via train, but things didn't go smoothly. There were complaints about security, or lack of it, including players walking through crowded stations with minimal protection and viral scenes of fans swarming to get selfies as the team tried to make its way to buses, not exactly enhancing the African reputation. The match itself, well, it became the most controversial Afcon final in memory. 0-0 heading into the final minutes. Then, Senegal had a goal disallowed in stoppage time, and fans and players alike were furious. For what foul? Everyone was asking. How much did Morocco pay the ref? People were raging. Then, seconds later, VAR awarded a late penalty to Morocco, sparking one of the wildest decisions you'll ever see. Senegal's head coach ordered his players off the pitch in protest. The game halted for nearly 17 minutes before the team was convinced to return by the captain of Africa, Mane himself. Then, chaos spilled into the stands and the pitch. Senegalese supporters attempted to storm the field and clashed with stewards. Chairs were thrown. Fights broke out, not just among fans, but also in the press box. Utter madness. But hey, this is Afcon, where anything is possible. When play resumed, Morocco's Brahim Diaz stepped up and tried a panenka in front of tens of thousands, only to see Senegal's Edouard Mendy save it with ease. Silence. But wait, more controversy. No Senegal player celebrating, just walking back like a training session for the next play. There are stories of Diaz missing on purpose for Senegal to come back on the field to continue the game. But the thing is, Morocco was chasing their first title since 1976, and he was the player who was appealing vociferously for the penalty to be awarded in the first place. Also, if he wanted to miss on purpose, why risk cheaping the penalty on target? In reality, the Real Madrid man decided on a risky strategy for a high-pressure kick and got it badly wrong, as evidenced by how devastated he looked afterwards. Anyhow, that miss swung momentum 90 minutes up, and into extra time the game went. Pep Gay, after some brilliant team build-up play, scored, and Senegal lifted the trophy 1-0. Towelgate Ball Boys incident. Yes, you heard that right. Towelgate. Ball boys from the Moroccan side repeatedly tried to snatch the towel that Senegal's keeper was using to dry his gloves in raining conditions. What should have been an accessory became a symbol of gamesmanship. Senegal's backup keeper was almost like a soldier, guarding that towel from being taken, and it exploded into one of the stranger viral moments of the final. CAF eventually fined the Moroccan FA $200,000 for inappropriate behavior related to that incident. I mean, seriously, not letting the goalkeeper use his towel. Come on, Morocco, you're better than this. In the aftermath, CAF hit both teams with hefty fines and bans. Senegal's coach got a 5-match suspension. Players received bans for unsportsmanlike behavior, and both federations were fined hundreds of thousands of dollars. Morocco also faced sanctions for, wait for it, ball boys and improper conduct by players and coaches. Morocco's formal protest to overturn the result was rejected. But the fallout didn't end on the pitch. Tensions spilled into real life, including diplomatic comments, social media clashes, and political leaders calling the incidents painful and urging calm. Senegal's prime minister described the scenes as emotional excesses, while Morocco's king called for unity. Now, the big question, what does all this mean for African football? A tournament that should have united the continent instead shone a spotlight on organizational flaws, controversies around officiating, fan behavior, and even how preparation logistics are handled. It's a cautionary tale for future Afcons, especially with the 2030 World Cup coming up. Fans are still talking about Afcon 2025, not because of the goals or the tactics, but because of the stories that came out of it. From political tributes and protest symbolism to offbeat goalkeeping chaos, and a final that will be dissected for years. Alright, I want to hear from you. What was the craziest moment of Afcon 2025?